Ladies and gentlemen, karibu tena kwenye Turnup podcast. My name is Jasper Kanyi. Kidogo hapo na niko na mzee mwenye sasa nimeshika mkono hii Nairobi. Bila mimi hawezi toboa.
Nini
Turnup podcast? Unajua siku hizi tunasema wapenzi
watazamaji.
Jamani, stop.
Yaani unafurahia ukikunywa maji tu ndani ya set.
Wewe unakunywa maji tupu hapa hata uwezi. Unajua acha niachana tuna wewe.
Bro, homa imenishika kidogo, that's why.
Na una barakoa?
Okay, nilikuwa nao nikaweka kando kidogo.
Ndio uniambukize kama nikufe.
Sasa ukikufa
would you introduce?
Okay, hey ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Turnup podcast. My name is MC Opura. Karibuni sana, and we want to say thank you for supporting us and watching us each and every time. Maze, this is one of the greatest things Jasper imefanyika kwetu. Just for that person showing up, showing that support to your viewing, maze, you know, upoa na pia commenting and also reviewing. Tunasema tu asante sana. So Jasper, how are you, bro?
I am well.
Long days, umekuaje?
Nimekuwa poa mimi, wewe umekuaje?
Nilikuwa poa. Apart from kuwa under the weather kidogo.
Mzee, okay. Please, kwa comment section.
Yeah.
Help me understand. I am not judging.
Yeah.
But please help me understand.
Yeah.
By under the weather, who is supposed to say that? What do you mean by being under the weather? Is it that you're sick? Okay, please.
No.
Please, comment section.
Check your channel.
Msaidieni Opura.
Like you'll have to stop this.
Msamiati kidogo, kizungu mkuti.
You'll have to stop this and do the job that you motivate.
And
in fact, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, I'm wearing his merchandise.
Yes,
it's
sir.
called JS Dance Academy.
Correct.
They have good merchandise. Hata nimeona
His love my story, yeah.
Love my story.
It is his love my story.
Of God's love,
my story.
Very nice.
Na leo bado tunataka kupeana story nyingine. You see what I did there? Nampea story yangu.
Same unaenda home. No.
Niko home. This is the home.
By the way, before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, Jasper, wafanye nini?
But unaona hapa kando?
Yeah.
Kuna subscription button.
Yes.
Hapo.
Na hapa?
Kando yake hapa. Share.
Alafu hapa kwingine?
Like. Na kuna kakengele mahali hapo. Acha kapige hapo. Ndio tukujulishe ile wakati tunapiga story.
Thank you.
Na usipoguza hapo, utatembelewa usiku na kitu yenye itakufurahisha. Utalala ukiota ukikula.
Bro, unajua walifunga mahali fulani juzi. Wewe. Don't do that.
Walifanya nini?
Walifunga last week, walifunga mahali juzi.
Wafanya aje basi?
Yeah.
Tutawa-abduct.
Wewe. Abduct nini? Wewe. Hebu turudi kwa story wewe.
Tutawa-abduct. We will abduct their minds by our mesmerizing stories.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Unajua
hashtag
nilikuwa nakwambia walifunga kanisa fulani.
Hashtag ni nini?
Hashtag kuja story.
Alafu ni nini sasa hivi?
Thank you.
Story na baba my baby.
Na baba. So just let's get back to the story now. What are we talking about today?
Today is going to be the beginning of our journey.
Okay.
And the journey I would want us to embark on is one that was suggested to us by one of our listeners.
Yes.
And it's a journey of pain. And not just any pain. Inflicted pain. So, inflicted pain. What do you understand by the term inflicted pain, Opura?
Well, so, ladies and gentlemen, when you talk about, let's start from the beginning of this.
The beginning.
In the beginning of everything.
Just a simple definition of inflicted pain.
So,
what is inflicted pain?
I just needed to build a background.
Right.
So, all of us will have pain.
True.
Okay? There's physical pain, ile labda ni mgonjwa, ama uligongwa, ama ulijiuma, anything. That's a physical pain.
Luya lazima apeane example na chakula. Ukiendelea.
There's now something called emotional pain.
Yes.
So emotional pain deals with your emotions and other things. So in kwandania emotional pain, there's something called inflicted pain.
Alright.
So inflicted pain is the pain caused by others to your life, or you causing pain to other people emotionally, either knowing or not knowing, either by bullying, either by insulting.
So basically, what you're saying is, sorry for cutting you. Yes. Basically, what you're saying is, inflicted pain is something that I cause to one person and the other person causes to me.
Yes.
And it can vary in various ways. It comes in various ways.
Yes.
It's either by words, actions, things said or things not done.
Yes.
So that is what we mean by inflicted pain.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
So now, quick one. Inflicted pain. So now, how do you get from I don't want to get so deep because you're going to do so in the coming episodes.
Yes.
But then, I am thinking, and I know our listeners will be asking this question also. Me, how do you get to the point where you understand what is going on? Like, how are you able to set aside this physical pain that can go away? Because physical pain, I believe, is pain that unaweza paka kaluma na iende, but kuna physical pain. For example, if you're bullied and beaten, unajua hapo kidogo kuna uchungu yenye ulifura, so unaona kuna hiyo kupigwa ulifura, but then afterwards ndio mzee sasa kuna kitu yenye imekwama ndani yako yenye bado haijatoka.
Now let me now take this opportunity and try to tell you, there's someone quoted and said, people will not remember you. For example, ukitoka kwa dunia sasa, people not remember you on what you did to them, like what the words you said to them.
They will remember me by the deeds that
they will not remember you on uliwabeba kwa gari, uliwafanya nini, but do you know what they'll remember? The emotional thing that will impact uliwaachia. Sasa the emotional impact uliwaachia. Now when you talk about inflicted pain, you know this thing varies from all the way, inaweza kuwa either by family, either by friends, either by church, either by society, either at work. And our listeners or our viewers outside there, they can also share with us and tell us where do they feel that is the pain is ukua.
So it's external. So this thing is something that finds you.
Yes.
Ile tu like the meme goes.
Yes.
So and so was just chilling.
Yes.
And then boom, kauchungu kamekuja.
Yes.
So now, from what I gather from your statement is that we experience this pain in different manners and mannerisms. So now let's break it down a little bit and say you said there's emotional, there's physical, there's, you put mental there. Yes, there's mental.
Mental is very great.
And there's the mental. So if we just do that minor breakdown and say there's a mental space where you get pain, there's a physical bit, and then there is the emotional bit. How are these three connected? And at what point do we get to connect them, and at what point do we get to separate them?
For example, let me use an example of maybe bullying in school, right? It is just like, for example, me in short, nakubaliana na height yangu.
No, you're down to earth. Let's just say that.
I'm next to the earth.
No, down to earth. Down to earth means something very different.
Okay, so so
yes,
when this thing when being bullied, let me use high school nini, watu walikuwa wanachukua advantage of your height. Okay, they take advantage of your height, wanakudharau. First of all ni kudharauliwa. Ukidharauliwa, what does it make kwa life yako? It demeans you.
True.
It demeans you. That's why outside here, when you walk outside here nowadays,
so that's mental. Now that bit is mental.
Yes,
comes back to your mind.
Yes, because when you walk outside here, sometimes watu wanatembea hapa nje wengi wako na trauma ya kudharauliwa. So they wanajuanga how kila wakati they can't say anything.
Okay. So now
na unajua sisi ndio wanakuangana views poa, ideas poa, but
nataka tupeleke our listeners and our viewers through a journey step by step. This is going on for a while now. We will go with this topic for quite some time. We'll do a few episodes, we'll get to share a few stories. If you're interested, if this is something you'd want to talk about, if you want to share your story, and even if you want to share it but in an anonymous manner. Anonymous manner.
Shule ni gani tena? Shule ni gani?
Unajua yangu ilikuwa high school, yako ilikuwa polling station, yako ilikuwa ni secondary.
So unapiga peke yako.
Now this is a journey. If again anonymously sharing, anonymous sharing is also allowed. Unaweza tupea story yako, tunaweza irusha hapa, tunaweza sema we can give you your name, not your actual name, so that we help each other, educate one another, na pia tupige life pamoja, na this is all in the quest to make people know and aware that you are not doing life alone and it did not happen to just you, and you can move past that struggle, that thing that you think is too big, that pain that you feel is too huge. You can move past that and become a better person.
And also by sharing, you know, when you're sharing, you are removing part of you.
True.
So the part of you unafanya hiyo kitu unaongelea inaanza kutoka. So you might be also healing by yourself and also helping someone to heal outside there,
and giving someone confidence to actually talk about something.
Yes, and also trying to make someone manager fika hiyo point ya hiyo story ajue vile anaweza kujishare
na navigate. True. So now into the breakdown.
Yes.
You said you were bullied.
Yes.
So in the bullying, that lowered your self-esteem. Definitely.
Yeah.
And then now that's mental. Then it gets to the emotional bit where now you start doubting yourself on the things you can do and the things you cannot do, because there is a standard that has been set for you, and there is what you had been dreaming about. There is how you view yourself. So this pain that is now external, this inflicted pain, it is now clear that distorts or it plays a big part on who we become and what we end up being like as a human being.
Yes.
So now you have talked about the mental, now the physical bit, but rather the emotional bit and how they now come together.
So bro, just hapo kwa bullying.
Yes.
Not only in school, even at home, whether you are with your friends ama nini, wale your peers, wale mko na home. I remember most of the time when I'm talking about bullying, most of the time people could be contributing something about something important. They will be like, you can't say anything.
So they're asking everyone else except you.
Yeah, wewe ni kama utatake the decisions wana nini. Do you know how bad that thing is?
That's tough.
And then let me tell you, for example, and I'm not going this is not my today to share my story.
True.
But my time it come. I remember mpaka saizi nime have to learn how to be courageous, to speak my voice, to bring my voice, to ongelea my voice outside here. Kwa sababu ilikuwa mimi nilikuwa najua nikifika places the elite people wako, watu wanaonishinda kwa umri, watu ni taller than me, watu wene walienda high school na mimi nilienda police station
secondary.
Ninge contribute nini kwao. Okay.
So unafeel ni kama hauna kitu ya kusema. You don't have anything to offer.
Most of the time, let me tell you, that's why you get people don't get outside. People don't get outside
themselves. Outside where?
Watu wengi wapendi hata ku interact with the other people. Because you like how they judgment, what kujudge ulikuaje nini you get.
So it's clear.
And unajua, and the funny thing is that these people are doing these things. Some of them even they don't know how to say sorry.
So now, you see, we are getting there. So we have gotten down to the point where tumejua kweli ni it has a big effect, and we get to that time when we get to share stories and experiences and how we overcame them, if we have already overcome them, or how we are dealing with them, or even managing them. Managing is not a good thing, because when you manage at some point in time you will get to the end of that management and it will catch up with you.
Yes.
So now I want to make it known to the audience that, and to you, that some of these people and a lot of these people who end up hurting us don't do it intentionally.
Yes, I can agree with you. I can agree with you.
It is a ripple effect. So this is what happens. So when you let me try and draw something here. When this person here is the first person to experience a certain sort of pain, then this person gives birth, or rather sires a child. He or she does not know any other way. So what does he or she pass on to the next person?
Same pain.
What do they know? So if you don't navigate whatever you're dealing with, if you don't understand or even break down your emotions, your thoughts, and what leads you to be who you are. If you don't understand yourself, you end up passing on to this other person. Because you see, there's a saying that goes, hurt people. Like people who are hurt other people. Because I'll end up bleeding on you without even knowing. And after bleeding on you, what happens? What happens is, if I am hurting, you will say something to me, and I'll be like, well, then utashanga, where is this coming from? So what do? You can't just stand there and not defend yourself. So we end up having a rabo, and then I did not know what happened to you. I did not know what happened to me. I don't know why you reacted that way. So what do? We will pass it on until when we get to a point where, now at the end of this series, the goal is to get to a point where we are breaking this chain, we are breaking this cycle of hurt people hurting other people. If we embark on a journey of healing, then the same way, I believe, I have not heard this saying, but I believe that healed people help heal people. Sometimes someone was praying and they prayed a prayer and said, Lord, I am grateful for what this man has gone through, because we will use what he has gone through to help other people get past such situations. So you see, in that prayer, now I can proudly and confidently say, healed people help heal other people.
Okay, let me ask this question, because you've said that. I don't know, because you brought that mtu alikuzaa from
hapa kuna
alikuzana
na si physical, si lazima iko physically, like si lazima iko ni mama yangu ama kwa wazazi wangu, inaweza kuwa the people I interact with, because you see we are what, how do I put this, we are products of what we experience. We are products of our circumstance. So if I interact with you, someday in the future, or even in the near future, or even in the past since I got to know you, the attribute of me that hazingewahi kuwa hapo bila wewe. Unaona? So kuna hizo impacts. So si necessarily ati ni wazazi ama watu tumetoka na wao pale pamoja. Ni my interaction. How watu, what have they left on me? Were they hurting and then they hurt me? And then I pushed.
And then, you know, when you're talking about this,
yes,
kuna vile we are dealing with the generations.
True.
Different way of generation. I will put an example, because juzi I was reading, I think a week ago, Gen Z alipeleka babake na mamake kwa court.
Why?
Simply because these people are forcing him or her, I don't know, kutoka kwa nyumba. She's 23. He or she is 23, I don't know.
Hey.
Anataka kutoka kwa nyumba na ajui pale anaenda.
Okay.
Na naomba hii familia kama wanataka kumfukuza nje,
wamlipie rent.
Wampe 5 million. They end their life. No. I know.
Hold up.
I know.
These are your parents.
I know.
You're taking your parents. Hold up. Opura.
Jasper, I know.
Moja. Hii syllabus unakimbiza.
Yes.
Mr. and Mrs. my father and the mother.
Yes.
Against me.
Jasper Kanye.
In court.
Yes.
Saying that I am entitled to 5 million if you guys want me out of your house.
Because I don't have a job.
Look for one.
There's no jobs.
Okay, there's no jobs. There's no jobs and I am working. There's no jobs and we have posters of hiring. There are no jobs and every single day people are starting businesses.
So hold up.
There are no jobs. You see, Opura,
so this is the pain.
You don't just... That is not pain, that's stupidity.
This is the pain you're trying to put in your family.
That is not pain, that's stupidity. We have to differentiate between...
You see,
hold up, we have to differentiate between... Opura, there are things that make sense and there are things that don't make sense. There are things that are acceptable.
With you, please.
No, there are things that are acceptable and things that are not acceptable at all, at any cost. So, if you argue... The Englishman said, if you argue with a fool, then you become...
a fool.
So now... This is that scenario. You know what led to that?
Yeah.
It is because such things here were not dealt with. People did not talk about this. People did not get to a point where you can educate somebody. You can even like enlighten somebody like somebody's son is or daughter is taking their parents to court because they were asked to grow up. Do you know, according to the constitution, you're of legal age when you get to
18.
as an 18-year-old, you are an adult.
But where am I going?
As an 18-year-old, you are an adult. If anything happened to that man or lady, that young girl or young man, if they happen to do anything in the streets and they got arrested, do you think their parents would answer for their mistakes?
No.
Yes or no answer?
No.
They will not answer for their mistakes. Then why should the parents answer for the messes that this guy has been doing? If I would understand, I would come close to understand if this person was taking them to court because they refused to pay school fees, because they refused to support them in a business endeavor.
One of the things he said, or she said, I don't know, he or she said, kwa hiyo interview, kwa court akisema, because yeye hakuandika barua aweze kuzaliwa. And that's why I brought this story here. It's because some of the people wamepitia pain outside here and they're like, mimi I never wrote the letter. Kuna pain za childhood. Hizo inflicted pain za childhood. Mtu ako like, mimi sikuandika barua mnizae.
So let us do away with this story kwa sababu ina tutoa kwa topic na pia inafanya,
but I brought in
inaleta
you see I brought in because at the end of the day we are trying to,
these are the results we are getting because of not talking about this. So now there's a victim here in this
two
case.
Victims.
This case, hold up, I am not calling this stupid young man or girl a victim, and sorry to the listeners and viewers. So listen to this, Opura.
Yes.
There's a victim here and there's a perpetrator. I call them that. Or rather, the person who does the hurting. Think of this. And I'll use your example. He or she says, I did not write a letter to be born by you guys.
Yes.
So now, in the 23 years of life, where has he or she been eating and doing everything?
Kwa nyumba mama yake na baba yake.
So, if we were going to do a logical, tukiweza ongea tu logically, talk about it in a logical manner. This person, till 23 years, until this point where he or she is now suing the parents, he hasn't lacked. He might not have gotten what he or she wanted, but they have not lacked.
Yes.
And by the fact that he or she is asking for 5 million, it dictates that he or she thinks or knows that the parents are capable of doing that.
Getting 5 million.
Alright? So now, if the parents decide to give this stupid person 5 million and then disown them, this person now squanders this money. Whatever he or she does with this money.
I just kept quiet to listen.
Because it is not making any sense of
okay.
And now,
do you know why I brought these stories? Because this is the problem of one of the things. Each generation, let's say each generation is boomers, right? Each generation of boomers, how walikuwa in a military way of being raised. Sikiza tu.
Nataka kukatiza kwa sababu.
No, in a military way.
Kitu moja tu.
No.
You see why we are doing all this back and forth is because we have decided to put an umbrella to generational barriers.
Yes.
We have taken our generations so different. It is true that we have different generations. It is true that we experience life in a different manner. But truth is, sisi wote, we are working with what we have. We were brought into a world. Everybody, from the boomers, from the millennials to the Gen Zs and now to the alphas, they are working, and betters, they are working with what they get. You cannot do with what you don't have. So if we keep blaming generations, if we keep blaming that walirejewa na maumau, if we keep blaming sijui walikuwa nao walipata simu, wako na kila kitu, wako na exposure, we will not get beyond this problem, which is identity, which is that people are now blaming their becoming of bad people, their lack of character to what they went through, to what they have. Because you see, Opura, your parents, exactly, you are playing victim of circumstance that nobody can control. Your parents being born in the Mama Wera, did they send a letter to?
Hey, Hey.
Because they were born that time, did they send a letter too?
Where?
Now, let me ask a question that I would even pose to this stupid young person. The guys who are born and their parents are dead right now, they're orphans, did they send a letter to God and say, now you can take them, now I am okay, I am independent now? Did they? So, let us stop this nonsense of saying it is about generation. When you put generation here, then we will keep on fighting and beating this war of generational boundaries, generational barriers. We will keep on saying, make them understand. And how do you make them understand? Let's talk about it. Obura ukinikanyaga, nasema, pole baba, pole, nimekanyaga nikipita hapa but ni padogo.
But unajua, sasa acha nikurudishie hapo place ya. Because bro, kuna watu wezi kuambia. Yeah, listen, some people like kuna place inafikanga, I can't tell you. So, what do I do? Kwa sababu siwezi kuambia utafanya ni nyamaze. Okay? It comes in a pile.
Hold up.
Sikia.
Nitafanya unyamaze. Mimi nifanye unyamaze Obura.
Sasa I'm using for example, there's a listener outside there,
true,
or a viewer outside there.
There are people who are traumatized
They
to the
don't
point
know
where
how to do, because
they cannot talk about it.
Yes, it's because how they were raised. How they were raised. You can't use an example of mine. Use an example of mine that you can't speak.
I understand.
You can't
speak
out.
But we all get to a point where Obura, we are 5 years, we go to 10 years, we go to 15 years, now we are 20, now we are 30. Hold up, we are moving, right? At 5 years old, you could not have called the shots of anything. At 10 years old, you begin to understand a few other things. At 5 years old, you are recording. Your mind was just sipping, right? At 20 years old, Obura, this is when now you are at the foundational level of your decisions. You are at the foundational level of who am I becoming? What sort of background am I building? Now you're not blaming the foundation you came from. You are now building your life as Obura.
Now,
it is true that sometimes we go through. See, I'm working on the victim, right? So there's a victim here. There's a person who lost their parents at a tender age. Went through foster parenting. Went through stepmother. Maybe the mother died. The father remarried. And he or she has been treated like a servant. He has been treated wrongly, abused. And to some extent, some fathers even abuse their girls sexually. And vice versa. And this person has now grown up. So, why are you having this conversation? Why are you starting this? Why are you going to repeat the story? It is not to negate the fact that you are in pain. It is not to nullify the fact that it happened to you. Obura, you are bullied. I cannot do anything about it now. You cannot go back and beat those guys now. Exactly. Atatembea hapo tuseme, unajua ni aje? Ule joro ule alinipiga nikiwa high school na mimi sasa ninamtafutia mabao zani. That is not how it works. Why are you having this conversation? So that we start, like everything starts somewhere. And the reason as to why we are failing as human beings is because we keep focusing on what has happened. What is wrong. It is victory a day at a time.
Yes.
It is change a day at a time. Change begins with the idea of I am tired of feeling messed up.
Yes.
Are you comfortable at your place? Are you comfortable like how you are? You are hurting. Are you comfortable? I am not. So what do? Listen to Turnup podcast as they talk about pain. I might gather something here and there.
And that's how, and that's just to add on whatever you're saying, Jasper. I know inflicted pain, and through the discussions we'll be having, through even the experts that we'll be bringing in, they will be touching a lot under inflicted pain.
True.
Now, I know people through this infliction of pain, people are fighting through to know their identity. We are really sorry. First of all, I want to say sorry on behalf of whoever amekufanya tuko hiyo place huko. Let me just say that.
True. Apologies.
Whether it's whether it's your parent,
sincere.
whether it's your sibling, whether it's your brother, neighbor, whether you are someone molested, someone done things were like. But let me tell you, we are very sorry. But let me tell you one thing. At the end of the day, there is healing.
There is
there is, you have to seek for healing. And one of the things that will be coming up hapa sana sana will be maybe forgiveness. I know that journey will go through it of forgiveness. We'll go through the journey of how to cope with these guys. We'll try to come up, as much as Turnup podcast, we are not experts, we'll try to bring experts here to try to tell us on what we can do on how to deal with these things, because all of us have passed through a story that maybe iko hapa nje. The stories are outside here, and ladies and gentlemen, I think because today was just to build up Jasper. Just a build up of whatever is coming, and the next episode is going to be heavy.
Is it?
I don't know. You tell me, because the next guest, the next guest that is coming for the next show, you don't want to miss, because he's going to share his story, and I think from that story we'll be learning, and we'll be relearning. We'll be seeing where the flaws zake zilikuwa, na tutukua hapo tuseme mimi siwezi kufika hapo, kama nilifanya hivi mimi ningefanya hivi, na pia tunaweza saidia mtu mwingine. That's why I say every now and then on this Turnup podcast, if you feel that someone can watch this thing and change, you have a friend, you have a family member mwenye vile unaweza msaidia, you have a relative that you, or hata kama ni huyo boss master wako wajui vile unaweza msaidia, you can just recommend them to come and watch here. We don't claim to be experts, of course we don't claim to be experts, but we know just that 1 2 3 just sharing the story here and there, you can change your life, and that is what I can say from my side. And then I want to repeat again to say this: we, on behalf of everyone, amekufanyia kitu ama umemfanyia chochote, tafadhali nataka kusema kwamba msamaha on behalf of everyone. Tafadhali poleni sana. Eat wherever they say sorry, and let's start a new journey. May God bless you. So just if you have another last thing to say.
I want to apologize to the listeners and the audience. I might have sounded harsh amidst the chaos.
Yes.
I might have gone too much a bit passionate, but it is because I know what this thing does, and we are representatives of Christ in this world. And as we represent Christ, the devil is not a young man, and he is not a stupid man. Shetani si kijana mdogo.
Aliomba kwa maombi yake. Should I say hiyo maombi?
Sema tu.
Na wewe shetani, grow up. It has been 2000 oje.
Say, he knows, and he is an accuser, and he will whisper every single bad thing you have done, and make sure that you never see yourself in the eyes of Jesus Christ. And the truth is, no one is truly righteous. Hakuna mtu mwenye ameweza amepita huko mbele. But every single day we wake up, we should wake up with the mind of I am being better today. I am being comfortable today. And as we start this series, I will share my story. Opura will share his story. We will find somebody here out here to come and share their stories. We will share your stories. When you comment hapo, when you mtataka to share your story, we will share your stories.
Yes.
And in the process, people will receive healing. We want to build on a community where we can hold each other accountable. And if you guys would even want to have a WhatsApp group or something that we will work together in this journey, DM. We will share our handles. We will talk about it. And all in all, again, as Opura said, sorry for the heart. Sorry for those ones who seem arrogant, and some of them are very arrogant. They don't seem they are arrogant. They didn't say I'm sorry. They didn't act like you matter. I want to tell you that you matter.
Yes.
That you matter. That you are not a rag to be walked on.
Yes.
And that your feelings matter.
Yes.
And your emotions count.
Yes.
Apologies for those who hurt you, and let us forget that. Let us now try and walk out of this.
Thank you, bro. Asante sana.
And convince Opura to start taking tea.
Sasa maziwa inasaidia nini?
Calcium. Miguu itaanza kufanya vitu hapa. Sasa ndio fluid sasa haiko hata.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as we close this show,
where do we find out? Where do they find out?
That's what I want to tell you. You can find me on at Opura Victor Pale Instagram, and to get this podcast, please go to YouTube channel. I think our channel liko hapo chini. Director atafanya Opura TV. Yeah, ukitafuta tu Turnup 254 hapo YouTube. Instagram at Turnup254, Turnup Podcast 254.
Correct.
Also TikTok Turnup Podcast 254. Spotify
the Turnup Podcast.
And then wewe unapatikana wapi?
At Jasper Instagram ama Jasper Kim.
Thank you.
Wewe DM too.
And also the guy has
so we are doing merchandise. We are doing branding.
Yes.
Whatever you want branded. This is our work. Yes. Or my work.
And this one
is our brand. Or whatever you want. Buza tu hapo kwa DM.
Asante sana. May God bless you.
Adios muchachos.
Let's meet the next show. Mazemi sijui nitafanya aje but that one is heavy. Thank you.
Saa ingine ni ngumu.
Saa ingine ni mbaya.
Zoea kunywa chai. Ukikunywa chai haikuangi hivyo mbaya.